Hello, students. Welcome to Estkopara with the last lecture in working of institutions. This is the civics class, and we are left with the third organ of the government, that is the judiciary. Judiciary we will discuss in detail in today's topic. The first two organs were legislature, executive, and the third one is the judiciary. Now we will here discuss some functions of judiciary, what actually judicial system is, and you will remember that we are here concerned with the judicial system of India. The judiciary is that institution of the India which is totally an independent unit. What the independent unit means? Independent unit means that it is not under the control of government or president. It is the independent body. Even the government is bound to follow its decisions. It gives verdict. It is for the justice of the for the justice in the country. It is the justice system, the judiciary, and it consists of Supreme Courts, High Courts, Supreme Courts on national level, High Courts on state level, District Courts on district level, and local courts on local level. Now, what actually judiciary means? Judiciary is the guardian of the constitution. Constitution we have discussed it in detail in the previous chapter of this civics, that constitution is actually the set of rules by which the country runs smoothly, and those rules are guarded by the judiciary. What does this mean, that it guards the constitution? Means that whenever a bill is passed, whenever a law is made by the legislatures, by the top officials of the government, for example, this legislature is headed by the prime minister, then that bill goes into the parliament and then it is passed with majority, and then the president also signs that bill. Through all this process of passage of bill, nowhere the judiciary exists. Then at the end, this judiciary, what is the function of this judiciary? It takes account of that bill. It sees the content of the bill, whether it is according to the constitution or it goes against the constitution. If that bill goes against if any decision actually of the government goes against the constitution, it can declare that bill as null and void, means that's rejected. That bill is rejected and that cannot be executed by the executives, and it has the power over all the other organs of the government. So this was the function of the judiciary. And you will remember, in India, government cannot rule over the decisions of the judiciary. For example, if any verdict is given by the Supreme Court, that cannot be ruled out by the government. Government is bound, even the this ruling party, that's called as government, is bound to follow that verdict of the Supreme Court. Supreme Court heads the nation and national courts, all the courts of the nation. This is the top court of the country. And CJI means Chief Justice of India is the top judge of the Supreme Court, and High Court judges, other Supreme Court judges are all they are elected by the president on advice of PM. And removal of judges, once they are made as judges, for example, a person is made as the judge of Supreme Court or as the judge of High Court, it is very difficult to remove these judges from their positions, as it is difficult to remove the president of India. if anywhere there is the need to remove the judges, it's a very difficult job. One has to prove the majority in Lok Sabha plus Rajya Sabha, then only the judges can be removed. So that process is called as impeachment process. Impeachment or impeachment motion is impeachment motion is drawn in the this parliament, then only the judges are removed. There is one thing here. There is an order given in your book on the page 57. When we start on the starting of this unit working of institutions, there was given an order, the government order. This was the official order of the government. Why it was given? It was the Mendel Commission. Yeah, it was the Mendel Commission. You will read it thoroughly on your book. What this Mendel Commission was? Mendel Commission. This was, I do not discuss this till now because you were not aware about what judiciary is, what legislative is, what executives are. So I kept this withheld. You will remember that this commission was a committee. This was a committee made by the legislature, made by the government of India for identifying the socially and educationally backward classes in India. They were given a task to survey for the socially and educationally backward classes in India. This Mendel Commission, it was a committee actually made for these made for this survey to determine the socially criteria to identify the socially and educationally backward classes in India. Then what happened? This commission gave the report to the legislature. For example, this legislature then passed that report in the parliament. The parliament passed the bill and the president signed it. Then at last what judiciary does, actually this was given as an example of the functions of government, of how they function. For example, this was made by legislature because decisions are made by legislatures. Then parliament passed this bill, then the president signed this, and at last when judiciary found something wrong in it, then it does not approve it, and it suggested the legislature and the government that to make some changes in this bill, and then it was referred, and some changes were made in this Mendel Commission, and then only this was passed as a bill. So it was an example Mendel Commission. You will look into your book thoroughly about this, and we have completed almost all the topics of your chapter. Now there remains the exercise portion. I will provide you the material for this. We will discuss actually these questions, these MCQs we will discuss in a next lecture, or I will provide the material for it. Have a good time, work hard.